In today's video, there's going to be lots of things. We've got a Lego movie coming up and a science experiment that will point to something in the story. But first, we are going to be learning the memory verse. The memory verse is going to come up on the screen, and each time we repeat it, some words are going to disappear. You at home need to remember them and say them loudly out loud so that I can hear them all the way over here. You guys ready? So let's first say it all together. 1, 2, 3. Jesus did many other miraculous signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. John chapter 20, verse 30 to 31. Now we're going to say it again. Some words will disappear. 1, 2, 3. Jesus did miraculous signs in the presence of his, which are not recorded in, but these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and you may have life in his name. Chapter 20, verse 30 to 31. Some even more words are going to disappear now. Hope you guys are remembering. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Jesus did miraculous signs in his, which are not recorded in the, but these are that you believe that Christ, the Son of God, you may have life in his name. Now let's say it all together with no words on the screen. Ready? Let's go. Jesus did many other miraculous signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not recorded in this book. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. And where's it from? John chapter 20, verse 30 to 31. Hope you guys are remembering it, and if you remember it really well, why don't you ask your parents to send a video to this number? Would love to see, and maybe next week you will be the one saying the memory verse to everyone out there. Difficult to place those matches exactly where they needed to be for the match to stand up. But finally I got it and I caught it on camera. In the story today, like the match stood up, we're going to see how a man stood up, but not because of science, because of Jesus healing him. Here's a Lego video just for you.
Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now in Jerusalem, near one of the gates, there is a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda. Here, a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, and the paralyzed. One man had been invalid for 38 years. Now on the Sabbath, Jesus saw him lying there, and learned that he had been in this condition for such a long time. He went up to the man. "Psst, you in the red hat, get off the stage." He asked the man, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He got up, he picked up his mat, and he walked. Jesus left him. The Jewish leaders went up to the man and said, "It is the Sabbath. The law forbids you to carry your mat." But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" So they asked him, "Who is this fellow who told you to pick up your mat and walk?" The man who was healed had no idea who Jesus was. Jesus had already slipped away into the crowd. Later, Jesus found the man at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning now, or something worse may happen to you." Then the man went away. The man went to the Jewish leaders who had interrogated him earlier, and he told them that it was Jesus who had healed him.
Now I've got some did you spotters for you guys at home. Did you spot what Jesus said to the man? He said, "Do you want to get well?" Jesus was concerned for the man. He was showing compassion, showing love. Jesus saw that he was stuck and that he wanted to be healed, and Jesus healed him. And did you see that he told the man to get up, take your mat and walk? Now Jesus healed the man. He spoke to him and had the authority to heal him. And this shows that he is the Christ. He healed the man with authority. But Jesus speaks to him again. Did you see what he says the second time he sees the man? He tells the man, "See, you are well. Stop sinning or something worse will happen to you." You see, Jesus isn't just concerned about his body now, but he's concerned about the man's future. The man is continuing to sin, and if he continues to sin, then something worse is going to happen to him. Jesus is warning the man about what might happen. Now, I've got some questions for you guys at home that you can do with your parents. Firstly, some did you spot it? Did you spot how the man was suffering? And did you spot what did the man do to get healed? And did you spot what Jesus did to get healed? And then some work it out. How had the man's future been healed? And then what did Jesus warn him about? And then I've got to live it out for you as well. I want you to think back to the past weeks and today and think of 3 things that point to Jesus being the Christ. And then pray about them and thank Jesus for them. And then I've got a teen challenge for those teens out there, or maybe some of you want to try it as well. Jesus healed the man on the Sabbath. God gave the people the Sabbath to point back to creation when the world was perfect and at rest. And he gave it to point forward to one day when the world will be healed and at rest again. Now, why is it so special that Jesus healed the man on the Sabbath? And what does it show? After all these questions are done, why don't you pray and thank God for this?